Okay, so you're organizing a group trip. Awesome. But now you're at that point where you're comparing quotes between tour operators. Not awesome. Why? Because comparing tour operator quotes is confusing. Almost every tour operator packages information differently, so when you're analyzing multiple quotes, you're hardly ever comparing apples to apples. And just as you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, you should never compare tour operator quotes solely based on price. So your old pals here at Greenlight Group Tours are here to help. In this video, we're going to help you decipher each quote so you can achieve more of a side-by-side comparison, which will hopefully help you make the best, most informed decision on which tour operator to ultimately choose. With all that said, let's go. How many people is the quote based on? Group travel consists of a lot of shared expenses. For example, a bus or a tour manager. With shared expenses, the more people paying for them, the less they are for everyone. Now, some tour operators may give you a quote that says the cost will be $900 per paying traveler, but somewhere else, usually in a smaller font, it might also say that cost is based on 100 paying travelers. Well, if you think your group will be more like 30 to 50 passengers, that original quoted price is pretty irrelevant. Ask every tour operator to base their quotes on a realistic number of passengers that you anticipate will register for your trip. If you can get that pricing in a grid format, showing how the prices change from 30 to 50 travelers, even better. Get specific. Some quotes are built off of items that are pretty vague. For example, one quote for a New York City trip may say, dinner at Carmine's in Times Square followed by Wicked on Broadway, whereas another might say, Italian dinner followed by a show, which could really mean a slice of pizza and an off-Broadway show. The same principle applies with hotels. A New York area hotel could mean the Marriott Marquis in Times Square, but it could also mean an open corridor Howard Johnson off the highway in New Jersey. Needless to say, the difference in cost and experience between those two would obviously be huge. Another example is when a quote lists cash back as a meal. Exactly how much cash back? $10 would make for a cheap meal, but where are your passengers going to feed themselves in New York City with $10? Don't assume anything. Ask your tour operators to get specific when making you a quote. If you see something like 12 meals listed on a quote, you simply need more detail so you know exactly what your group is paying for and what the experience will be like. Ask about airfare estimates. To prevent driving up airfare costs, a lot of tour operators will build trip quotes based on flight estimates. For example, Greenlight may estimate flight costs at $500 per passenger. This covers our groups for round-trip airfare to most destinations. However, some tour operators keep their quotes lower by budgeting only $300 per passenger. This may seem nice at first, but what it could lead to is the cost of the trip increasing down the road. If your trip quote involves flying, ask your tour operator how they're estimating the cost of flights and use your judgment to determine if it's realistic. Think about the things that no one thinks about. Here at Greenlight, we think about the things that no one thinks about a lot. Here's some examples. Are all meals included? Are drinks, side dishes, and desserts included with meals? Is gratuity included when necessary throughout the trip? Will there be nighttime security guards? What happens if the number of girls and the number of boys in hotel rooms doesn't divide perfectly by 4? Will some kids be charged extra? How many teachers' packages are built into the cost of the trip? Will your tour manager be with you the entire trip? It's not that there are right or wrong answers here, but you need to know so that you can accurately compare quotes. Feel the love. Not to make it weird, but working with a tour operator is kind of like a relationship. You'll be working towards a goal together for about 10 months, phone calls, emails, Zoom meetings. So once you've sliced through all the fluff and compared the quotes as fairly as possible, ask yourself, who would I really like to be in this partnership with? Whose personality did you gel with? Which tour operator's strengths match with the things that you value most? In our opinion, that should play a big part in which tour operator you ultimately want to go with. Selfishly, we hope this video has helped you decide to go on your group trip with Greenlight. And if that's the case, call us. But either way, we hope it's helped you understand how to compare quotes between tour operators just a little bit better. Thanks for watching and take care.